Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Buckeye in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling, winning Wednesday. So, what are your wins for today? What things did you get to celebrate today as wins? Let us know in the comments below. Um, I have to say, there's sometimes that I like looking at if I need some inspiration, something that will lift me up and give me, and there's times um, that you feel like you're not on the right path, that you kind of lose a little bit of hope, and the spark kind of dulls down a little bit, and you just need something to pep you up and make you feel better again. And that's when I go surfing on YouTube. And what do I find on YouTube? I find really cool videos of people who are, especially things like the X Factor and Britain's Got Talent, America's Got Talent. They come out and they're literally shaking like a leaf. They are so nervous. You can see their hands with the microphone, and you can hear it in their voice, all that shakiness and all of that. And and then you hear, and then they start to sing, and you're just like mesmerized. You're like, where on earth did that come from? And they're so nervous about being in front of thousands of people, and of course they're live on TV at the same, or pre-recorded, but they're on TV at the same time. That's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. And this afternoon during a break, I got to watch one guy who was his whole body was literally shaking, and he was so nervous. And he told the guys out the back that he's 34, he'd been applying to come on the show for 5 years. Every year for 5 years, he would fill out the form, fill out the questionnaire and everything, put it in an envelope, address it, and then he would rip it up. I was like, oh, just put it in the mailbox. And then this final time, he actually put it into the mailbox, and it went in. He got accepted on the show, and he came. And his audition was, I was sitting there a blubbering mess. He did one of my favorite songs, which is The Rose, and it was absolutely incredible. And when he finished at the end, he's like wiping all the sweat off his face. His hands are still shaking, and um, but it was, and it just reminds me that there's times that we are so nervous about stepping outside of our comfort zone, um, or that we really don't want. There's something we want to do, but we've got ourselves in such a state of mind that somebody needs to just say one word or something, and there's an excuse I can use. Poof, I'm out of it. But then you see somebody like this getting up on stage. They're so nervous. They are literally shaking apart. They're almost in tears because of the nerves. You can see it on their face. Um, and then you see them hit that first note, and then they're into their song. And yes, their hand may still be shaking while they're singing the song, but their voice is on point. And sometimes we just gotta take that step. It's just one step that we have to take, and we become a winner. And that's what this guy did. He became a winner that day because he walked out on stage in front of thousands in the theater, however many were watching on TV, and he decided, he had made the decision, he was going to go for it no matter what. And he finally found that spark inside of him that forced him over the edge of that comfort zone, because he was teetering right on the edge of that comfort zone. He really didn't want to step outside that comfort zone. You could see it on his face, but here he was out on stage, and you could almost see on his face, it's sort of like, well, I'm here now, I better sing. And he went and gave such a amazing performance. But I love stories like that. I love the stories where you overcome the fear, you overcome whatever it is that's holding you back, and you win against that barrier that's been there all that time. You finally found out how to get under it, over it, around it, through it. And those are sometimes some of the biggest ones that we have. And they're not ones that we may put out there, that, well, I had this struggle and I did this and then I got through it. You may not put it out there, but at least you know that you did it, and you're now here today because you took that final step across that line to achieve what you wanted to achieve, or to put you on the path that you wanted to be on, to start going after that goals. You finally found that spark that spurred you forward. Those to me are some of the best wins ever. I love hearing stories of inspiration like that, where people overcome obstacles. that they've been bound by these obstacles for so long that they finally break free and break through and go on to have amazing lives and have an incredible story to tell. And everybody has a story that needs to be told. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Even if you're doing, oh, my story's not as good as your story. I didn't have a husband with cancer and I didn't da 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 da. I don't care. You have a story. Everybody has a story. Everybody has some struggle in their life that they have overcome, and it is that struggle that they overcome that they need to turn around and tell people about, because there's at least one person out there that needs to hear your story, because it could be something in your story that could be the flint that gets the spark, that lights the spark, that starts lighting that fuse, that helps give them the push that they need to go on and get through, around, over, under that obstacle and go on to great things that they're supposed to be, that they're destined for. But when you're on the road to winning and all of that sort of thing, things don't always go according to plan. Like today, I had planned to be on to do genealogy and history at 11:30, and it just didn't work out that well. I ended up working an hour earlier with Mailbox Power today, but that's okay. It's okay, because what I'm going to do is, when I finish this live, is we'll be going and doing genealogy and history, and if we can stay upright. No, we're doing fine. We are currently rocking and a rolling right here. We've got rain coming in. There's dust storm warnings out there, and I'm like looking out the window at the hills in the distance, and I can barely see them. And I'm like thinking, okay, you've got high wind warnings for the area, which I get, and they're coming from the northeast. So basically, we're getting hit broadside, or somewhat broadside. Thankfully, we have other vehicles in the way that kind of buffer it a little bit, but we still get it across the top. Okay, and so they've got the high wind warnings, they've got the dust storm warnings, and it's raining. And I'm like, if it's raining, how do you have dust storms? Figure that one out for me. Unless the dust storms are in the area where the rain isn't falling. But then the rain around Arizona here, the rain shows that we've been in the last few days, not the last few days, when I was at the other place, last couple of weeks ago, is that you would hear the rain on the roof. You're like, yes, it's raining. Let's go. And I said to Zippy, let's go out and dance in the rain. So we'll get our shoes on. We'll go out there, and it had stopped. Or it's raining up here, but by the time it gets to here, when I'm standing, there is no rain. It was so warm and so dry that the rain was literally drying. It was evaporating as it was falling. So when it gets to the top of my 5'4.5" head, well, actually no, hang on, let me rephrase it. I don't have a 5'4.5" head. I have a 5'4.5" body. So when it got to the top of my, when it got to that area of the ground where my head was, it was already gone. It's like, how can you dance in the rain if the rain isn't even going to fall down low enough to get you wet? That's part of the fun of dancing in the rain, is getting wet. So yeah, so we've been rocking and rolling for the last half an hour or so, and supposed to be taking Zeffie for a walk, but I know her, she will not go outside when it's raining. So we're going to have to wait for it to dry off, and which means she's going to have to wait till like 8 o'clock tonight or something like that, because I've got calls I need to do. So I've got to try and coerce her to go outside before 6 o'clock Pacific time, because I'm on calls for 2 hours after that. So we shall see. We will keep you posted. But anyway, that's it from us for today. Hope you've had a super fantastic sparkling winning day. Please let us know in the comments below what your wins are for today, so we can celebrate with you. What inspires, when you need that spark lit, what is it that inspires you, that helps you light that spark? Fighters are flying. It's been quiet all day. We heard them this morning, and haven't heard them since. This is the first we have heard the jet plane since this morning. It must have been off in really good exercise or something. I don't know. Or they may have flown in from a different direction. But yeah, I haven't heard them since they took off around breakfast time this morning. Yeah, let us know what your wins are, and what is it when you need that little shove, that little push, that little moment of inspiration, that little spark. What is your go-to to help you find that little spark? I know everybody has their methods to help relight the spark and everything else. What is your way that you like to light that spark to help push you that little bit further? Anyway, that's it from us for today for our great adventures. Go have a super fantastic sparkling evening. If you want to stick around, we're going to be doing genealogy and history in a couple of minutes. So stick around for that and find out what fun things happened on this day in history. And we will catch you guys tomorrow for Thankful Thursday. Hei konera!